All right, we are live. I'm live from my desktop. Actually, I'm super excited about this, straight out of Facebook. So this is interesting. We'll see how the comments start to come up. But while I'm waiting on you guys to jump on with me, because Facebook is going to, of course, build my audience, right? While I'm waiting on you guys to come on live, I'm going to share out that I'm live in the group and invite. So I will do that. Waiting. And then as you jump on, just say hi. Whether or not you're watching live or you are watching the recording of this, say hey. I always go back, look at all the comments. And I copied the wrong one. Let's see if I can get it done the right way. Should I just shut you guys down? Nope, you're here. Okay, cool. I'm wondering what the lag time is. I see somebody just joined. I don't know who it is. So say hey. Say hello, Shameca. Say what's up, what's up? I'm sharing this out real quick while you guys are jumping on. We're going to get started in just a minute. I'm excited for what I'm going to be sharing with you guys today. Hi, Ruth Ellen. Hey, love. I see you posted it's midnight your time, so I'm thinking, man, there is some crazy sun coming in here today. I'm thinking, man, that's got to be crazy. You're like staying up just to hear what's going on. It's going to be worth it. So I promise that to you. I'm sharing this out right now, waiting on a few more people to jump on. And then we're going to jump in and get started. It's not going to be that long. It's going to be really quick, but I will tell you this. Grab a piece of paper if you don't have one, because I'm going to be giving you enough meat and potatoes to take some notes and sit with yourself and kind of figure out what your next steps are going to be to make this happen in your life. All right, so how much is too much to charge? What it takes to win clients who gladly invest in your high-end programs. Join us right now. Okay, 1 second. Let me do this. And yeah, I'm talking to myself because it's what I do. It's how I roll. Where are we? Power Players Live. If you guys want to share out that this training is going on, just invite people into the Power Players group. Or you can post that, hey, you're jumping on this training. How much is too much to charge? What it takes to win clients who will gladly invest in your high-end programs. And then use the link powerplayerslive.com. Powerplayerslive.com. Okay, cool. All right, that's done. So I'm coming live from my Facebook fan page for the first time. So I'm like, here's everything. Where did it go? All right, there we are. Hi, Michelle. Awesome. All right, so grab a pen if you don't have a pen. I know people are going to keep jumping on. I'm just going to jump in because this recording will be put up. So here's the deal. I keep getting asked the same questions over and over again. So I decided to do a training to kind of answer the question, like how much is too much to charge? Where do I find high paying clients? All of that stuff. So that's what this training is about. So like I said, if you haven't already grabbed a pen and a paper, grab a pen and a paper. If you haven't said hi to me, say hi. Because I'm going to be asking you to do a few things. And the only way I know if you're getting something out of it or how I need to re-engage with you is by your response. If you don't know me, my name is Shameca Tankerson. I'm also known as the Sell More Mentor. I know we have lots of new people to this area. I need to get a ring light because this Facebook feed is really, really dark. Let me see if I can fix this light to help a little bit. Nope. All right. Anyway, I don't like the way that looks, so I'll have to fix that. Sidetrack, focus. I'm also known as a Sell More Mentor. I'm an international best-selling author of the book, The Power of Permission, How to Set Fires to Your Fear and Sell More. You can get that book on Amazon.com anytime that you want to. So I'm going to jump right into the meat of this if you guys are ready to go. I have some notes that I'm going to be looking at, and I'll be bobbing back and forth to where you guys are. But here's what I want you to know is that I've been getting these questions asked over and over and over again. And really surprisingly, the two most popular questions that I receive all the time is my program good enough? Will people buy it? Or, is it hot enough? Is it something that people are going to desire or really want to pay for? And then how much is too much to charge? So what I'm about to walk you through right now is going to answer those questions, but I'm also going to give you some really great tips for how you can walk away and start to implement some things so you can find high-end clients right now. Now, believe it or not, the two concerns I just gave you are the ones that hold so many business owners back at every stage of business. They just get stuck because they're not sure if they're ready to put their program out there. They don't know if they should charge $500 or $1,000 or $5,000 or $10,000. Is anybody going to pay that? Especially no matter what stage of business they're in, and especially if they're in the consulting and service-based industry like speaking and consulting. Here's why. Because I believe that when we're in speaking and consulting, we're selling the invisible, right? We're selling something people cannot, it's not tangible. It's not, it's not an iPhone. It's not, a plate of food. It's not like a restaurant. You're selling something that's not tangible that they get into their hands. And so it becomes difficult to place a value on that. So it doesn't matter if you are at a high level and you're already doing six figures, or you're just starting out, you already have clients, or you're just trying to get your first clients. This is something that holds a lot of business owners back. So I want you guys to tell me, I don't know who's on, but tell me how many of you guys are starting out and you don't even have your first client yet. If that's you, I want you to type 1 in the comment box, whether you're watching on the recording or you're watching right now. I want you fully engaged. So if you don't have your first client yet, you don't have your first few clients, you're just starting out, I want you to type 1. If you have clients already, and maybe even you've gotten some high-paying clients already, I want you to type 2. So I want to get an idea of who's watching. So everything's good on my end. I want to make sure you guys can see me okay and the connection's good, because it might just be on your side. So if you can see me and I'm moving and the connection's okay, can you go ahead and just type yes for me? Or just say, hey, connection's good. A lot of times you might need to close down some browsers, because for me, everything looks fine on my end. All right. So a 1 if you're just starting out, and a 2 if you already have clients. All right. So I see those coming in. So whether you're just starting out, just starting to put yourself out there to bring in clients, or you already have some clients, your business is growing, right? You're making money, but your business isn't growing fast enough. What I'm about to share with you is going to help you a lot. So pay close attention. Like I said, if you don't have a pen, grab one. Grab one really, really fast. Why? Because what you sell and how you price it is a critical factor in whether or not you will consistently attract quality leads. And I'm going to talk about that. So what you sell and how you price it, it's very critical in how you will attract, or if you will consistently contract quality leads to you and clients, so that you can make money that's predictable. So what happens with some people, and what used to happen with me in my business, is I would make money, but I wouldn't always make it consistently. So I'd make a few dollars here and there. I'd have big payday months. I'd have a 20K month, and then I wouldn't make any month. And so it wasn't predictable revenue. And over the last 2 years, I've just gotten to the point where I can dial in the revenue that I make based on what I do. And so I'm going to teach you what your programs need to look like. I'm going to teach you a little bit about who you need to be, or how you need to show up in the marketplace. And then I'm also going to give you some structure for what that looks like to bring in leads, to bring in clients, in order to do it with a measure of predictability. You guys ready for that? All right. So, and like I said before, I got this right. I struggled for years under charging, over delivering, high income months, stop starts, to low income months, to no money at all. Like I'd have a big month and then I wouldn't make money for months at a time. Once I cracked the code to this, I've tripled my business almost overnight without working nearly as hard. Like I just saw a post on Instagram that said rise and grind. I was like, no, I don't want to rise and grind. I want to rise. I don't mind working hard. I don't mind putting in the effort, but I don't want to grind. Grinding does not, it sounds painful. Is not how when I think about my business in its optimal point, that is not how I see myself. So here's the first thing you need to know. Get ready to write this down. The first thing that you need to know is, what is your power? What's your superpower? What's your power zone? What's your magic? You guys see me post all the time. Believe in your magic. Believe in your magic. And here's something I'm going to say as I go through these points. Listen to me as I say this. When you hear something and you think it's something that you already heard or you already know, that's usually when you need to pay closer attention because there's something you're missing. The question that I always ask myself is, if I already know this, how is it working for my business? Is it working, and am I implementing it? Am I implementing it with a measure of success? Because repetition is the mother of all learning. And if you're hearing this, it means you need to hear it again. So your magic or your offer that you're going to be offering people, I don't want you to confuse that with your program. It's not the same thing. Your magic and your program are not the same thing. So the first thing you need to be clear on is, what's your magic? What's that thing that you do that no one can take away from you, that's like the back of your hand? So for me, it is seeing people for what the potential is that they have, seeing their business for the potential and not just where they are right now. It's being able to speak into that, to be able to speak belief into people. That's my magic. That's what I bring to the table. It's being able to word something. When somebody says, hey, here's what I'm trying to do, I can pull the language out how to do that like nobody's business. You're not going to get that that combination of giftings when you go somewhere else. That coupled with my gift of discernment and my intuitive nature, that's my magic. So you need to know your magic, because that really is your offer. That's the thing you're putting on the table. So we don't want to confuse your magic with your program, right? Your program is simply how you package and deliver your magic. So the first thing you need to know is your magic. What's your magic? And understand that your actual program is how you package and deliver that magic. Are you guys with me? All right. You guys know I'm a church girl, so you got to amen me, do something, give me some hearts, something. I don't even know if I can see those things on here. So your magic is your offer. It is the transformation that you deliver only as you can. That's step one. If you don't understand beyond a shadow of doubt what you bring to the table, you're not going to be able to sell high end. You got to know what your magic is. It's not about your company or the company that you're selling. It's about you. It's about the magic that you bring to the table. It's about the experience that clients are going to have. It doesn't matter if you're selling a program, a service, or a product, or a course. There is something people who invest with you get to experience that they will not experience with someone else. What is that magic? So your magic, the thing you need to know, is your offer, and it's the transformation that you deliver as only you can, right? If you're not clear on what that is, I'm going to tell you to spend some time today or first thing in the morning, for those of you where it's really, really late. Spend some time today sorting that out, okay? Because it's what makes your program unique. It's what makes it unique to you, and it's why your program delivers results like no one else's can. This is what makes your program somebody hungry for your program versus just another program. Somebody hungry to work with you, eager to invest with you versus comparing you to somebody else. Once you're clear on what your magic is, then here's the next step. So once you know what your magic is, and actually let me go a step further with your magic, because some of you guys may not be crystal clear on this. So just write out, like, what are the things you don't have to think about doing? What are the things you don't have to think about doing? They just happen automatically. What are the things people always compliment you on? What do people tell you? People tell me all the time they just love to be in the same space with me because there's something about my confidence that oozes out to them. And they're able to borrow that confidence. They're able to borrow that belief. I understand that when people invest in working with me, that's really what they're buying. Yes, they're going to get strategy, business strategy, sales strategy. They're going to get some scripting, they're templates. They're going to get all kinds of things. They're going to get models. But what they're really buying is that experience of being able to up level their own confidence and pride in what they do and step out there and own it. So what is your magic? So make some listings of those things. One of my mentors says this. He says, the thing that comes easiest to you is what you should charge the most for. The thing that comes easiest to you is what you should charge the most for. And lots of times we want to make it hard. Making money is actually very simple. And once you figure it out, you can do it on demand over and over and over again. But we want it to be complicated because we've grown up with this, especially in America, this thought process that hard work equals a good payoff or success. And so if something's too simple, we think, oh, there's got to be a trick. I'm telling you, making business, it is simple. We got to let that hard. So what's your magic? The thing that comes the easiest to you, that's what you want to package your program around. Okay, so here's step 2. Once you know your magic, then you want to decide how do you want to package it? What is the type of program? It's really this simple, guys. You don't need an 8-week course or anything to figure this out. Once you know what I'm going to give you today, you can begin to sell. And sell for 5,000, 10,000. Are you 5 figures or 5K? You decide. What I'm giving you today is going to allow you to do that right off the bat. Okay? Because you're not going to sell something that you have to Google. You're not going to sell something that you're not confident in. You're selling something that you that you can make it work, right? So the second step of this is, what kind of program are you going to package that magic up into? And so here's what you want to decide. Did I just say up into? Wow. Kind of goes together. Package the magic up into what kind of program? That's better. Okay. So what do you want to package it? So what you want to do, listen really closely to this, is you want to package it into a program that actually solves a burning problem. A problem that they have right now, not something that it's going to take them years to fix. So what problem can you solve right now? A burning problem that your prospects or clients have, that's what you want to package your program into. And now we're going to look at how you price that. So this is what you want to look at. Am I teaching an online course for $1,000 to $2,000? Am I teaching a 90-day one-on-one coaching program from $3,000 to $25,000? Is it an 8 to 12-week group program for $5,000 to $10,000? Is it a high-end mastermind for $10,000, $25,000, $50,000, $100,000? What am I packaging it into? So now that I know my magic, now I'm looking at my package. What's the burning problem that I'm solving for people? One focused burning problem. Decide how that package looks. Online course, 90-day coaching program, 8 to 12-week group program, high-end mastermind. All of these are things you can sell for thousands of dollars. Okay? And then you put a tag on it. I gave you some examples. So I'll those examples again, and let me see if there's comments. Yes, Kim, solves a burning problem. That's the problem, is we try to solve. My mentor says this. He says, we're trying to sell people vitamins, and no one wants to buy vitamins. What they're looking to purchase, or what they are willing to invest in, is the pill, the medicine, the pill. So think about it. We all know we need vitamins, right? We all have an understanding that vitamins are good for our body. Now, that's the case. No one's doubting that. Vitamins are good for our body. We should be taking vitamins, but how many of us actually take vitamins every day? I know some of us do, but really, how many of us take vitamins every day? Most of America does not. Most people do not. But if someone told you, if your doctor told you, hey, you have cancer, and these are the 3 medications you have to take every day at 8, 12, and 4 p.m., and if you don't take them, you will relapse, you better believe you make that investment, right? It doesn't matter how much they say it's going to cost. If they tell you have to go to pick it up, you will do that. So you need to shift the message around how you are packaging your service and telling people what it is, the burning problem that you solve, into a pill, and stop trying to sell people vitamins. Because people don't want to buy vitamins. So what is the burning problem? And how do you know it's a burning problem? Because it's a problem they believe they have. It's a problem they are already looking to solve and are willing to pay to get the result. It's a problem that they already know that they have. Not that you have to convince them that they have, right? Because you have to convince people that vitamins are good. Take this ginseng, you'll feel better. If you drink green tea, you'll feel better. You have to convince people. They may or may not do that. But when they know they have an ailment and you have the cure, on water, cross oceans, they will burn bridges, they will sell whatever they need to sell to make it happen. Think of your courses, your programs, your products and services in that way. A pill and not a vitamin. And then package it into your course. So I'm going to run through those again. So how are you packaging it? It's either an online course that can be arranged from $1,000 to $2,000. I would consider that like a home study online course, right? Where they do it themselves. There's no interaction with you. A 90-day one-on-one coaching program. That's where you take one person for 90 days through getting that result. That can be priced anywhere from $3,000 to $25,000. I mean, it could be more, but that's up to you. You also have the option of doing an 8 to 12 week group program for $5,000 to $10,000. So this would be somewhat like the online study course, but it would have some interaction with you, but through a group and not one-on-one. You can also do a high-end mastermind. Masterminds are all of the rage. So it's an intimate group of people. And because it's an intimate group of people with a high level of touch from you, you're going to be selling that for $10,000 or more. All right. So your price is based on the value that your clients receive from working with you, not on your time. I'm going to say that again. The pricing that you decide to choose, it's based on the value your clients receive from working with you, not on your time, not how many bonuses you can stuff into your program, how many extra things you can give them. None of that has anything to do with the value. So people are wondering, I have this program and it has all this great content in it and it's got all these extra bonuses. People are just overwhelmed. They're overwhelmed. It's way too much. You don't have to stuff things into your programs in order to be able to charge more. You just have to make sure they're getting value. And how do they get value? The value of what your clients get is perceived by them. So if you can solve their problem, the one that they believe they have and that they're willing to invest to get the result, then they're going to see value. It doesn't matter how many modules you put into it. It doesn't matter how many bonuses you give them. That's not why they're investing. They're investing because it's the medication that they need to cure the cancer. So pay attention to the specific burning problem that your program solves. And realize that there's also, with that specific burning problem that they're willing to invest in, sometimes there's some intangible benefits that your clients experience as a result of your working together. That's all part of the value. That's all part of the reason why you'll be able to charge a premium for what you do. You know, that confidence that my clients feel in my presence, or when they're in my program, or as they're walking alongside of each other going on this journey, that's an invaluable, intangible, invaluable benefit that I can't really put a price tag on, because it shifts how they show up in the world. It shifts how, and in turn, it affects their ability to sell more and their ability to charge more for what they do. That's part of the value. So here's a tool that I want to give you to really dig into the value and to anchor this. All right. Again, if you're just joining me, you want to grab a pen. I'm not one of those live streaming kind of people that are just like, hey, attaboy, let's go. I'm giving you guys practical tools, wisdom, and knowledge that you also at the end, I'm going to go back through comments and any questions that you guys have and open up. You can come and I'll go through them, or you can just ask questions at the end. But here's what the tool I want to give you for anchoring in value as you're pricing your services. Make a list of all the benefits that your clients get from working with you. I'm not talking about the widgets that they get, even though you can price those things too. Heck, let's do it all. Let's do the benefits and let's do the widgets. So let's say they get a checklist. What's that worth? Let's say, now they get more confidence. What's the value of that? Like, what is that worth? Put a price tag on everything and then add it all up. Every single thing that you're going to give them, whether it's sessions with you, whether they're going to learn how to be able to more clearly articulate what it is that they do, whether they're going to be able to learn how to dress to attract better people, higher caliber of clients when they speak on stages to help them sell better, whatever that is, what's the tangible value of that? What's the dollar amount? I want you to put an actual dollar amount on everything your clients get. Make a list, just sit down, write it all down and put a dollar amount on it. When you add all of that up, what you're going to find is that the value of what you provide is usually worth 5 to 10 times more than what you're actually charging. And this is actually where your confidence to sell and deliver will come from. You will realize, oh my gosh, I'm giving $30,000 worth of value. I'm giving $10,000 worth of value, but I'm only charging 3 or 1 or whatever the case may be. Then your confidence is like, oh my gosh, I know that they are going to get XYZ result because this is what I do like the back of my hand. When you show up in my world, you will learn how to deliver a signature talk that brings in appointments every single time. You will learn how to have a sales conversation that's able to close at a high percentage rate, at the least 50% of the time, right? So if that's the case, what's the monetary value of having that skill set? There's a lifetime value of that. You know, on average, my customers are selling at least $3,000 in services. So that skill set has a high value on it. So what is that for you? Please do this. Don't skip this point. Because what happens is we go out and we try to sell, and we're trying to sell ourselves while we're trying to sell the clients. I want to teach you how to sell yourself first, and then go out and market yourself and sell to your clients. So make that list, put everything on there, and then put a dollar amount on it. Tally it all up, grab a calculator, tally it all up, and then you'll be able to compare what you're actually charging against the value that you're actually giving people in tangible dollar amounts. And then you can step back and go, okay, this is a no-brainer investment. If you're like, for me, if you're able to bring in one client at $3,000, if I'm selling you something for $1,000, it's going to give you the skills to do that. No brainer. I do that all the time. That's $2 for every $1. As a business owner, that's a great return on investment. So do the same for yourself. This is how you anchor your own confidence, to put yourself out there, to sell your stuff. Okay? So that's a tool I want to give you for that step. It's important that you see with your own eyes why the value of your program is worth 5 to 10 times more than what you're actually charging, because this, again, is where your confidence to sell will come from. So trust and believe this. Even if right now you feel like I'm having a hard time finding people that can afford my services right now, Shameca, like you're saying that clients who are willing to pay you premium prices or pay for my high-end programs are out there, I don't know where they are. There is always, 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 I'm going to say that again, there is always a segment of the market who will gladly invest in your high-end programs. You have to show up in a way where they're able to see you. So I'm going to tell you that. Now, showing up, being visible doesn't always equal more sales and more clients. Being active doesn't always equal results. But I'm going to give you exactly what you need to win, because it's your job to know how to find those people, attract them to you. And I'm telling you that it's simpler than you might think. You know, one of the things I talk about is the fact that I don't carry business cards, and it irritates some people. But the reality of it is I've set up a business model that allows those who are ready to work with me to show up and come to me. Not like, you know, I'm manifesting clients and sitting on a pillow, you know, praying to God or whatever, asking for the clients to show up. I have strategies in place that call out to those who I'm meant to serve, repel the ones I'm not meant to serve. Yes, I make people jump through a few hoops, but what happens is instead of me kissing frogs trying to find princes, the people who show up are already pre-qualified and ready to buy. We're just going through this transaction of figuring out, is it a good fit? Is it a good match? How can I support you best? Which program would be the best fit for you? But I'm not talking to people who are tire kickers or who are not ready. And that's because I have an entire process set up. So I want to share with you what that is. Before I share with you what that is, here's what I want you to know. The thing about faith is it's believing in things that you cannot see. And so what happens is, if you're like me, if you're a high achiever, you're used to immediate feedback and immediate gratification and results, and you want that and you kind of need that. So what happens is when you put this kind of system in place, what happens is people who aren't ready, they're like, okay, I'm not stepping to her until I'm ready to go, because they see you have a system in place. Your system already says, don't apply for this unless you're in this space. And when you don't have oodles of people coming towards you, you slow down, you step back, you go into hiding, and you think something is wrong. What I want you to shift with your faith is understanding that your system, the one that I'm going to teach you right now, is actually working on your behalf, because it's stopping you from having to spend time on the phone tagging, chasing, haggling, hunting for clients and people who may not necessarily be ready yet. You can let your process take care of that on its own. And so here's the process that I want to shift with you. I want to share with you that you should have in place. This one is like, people are like, okay, I get that. I'm confident. I believe in myself, but the right mindset is the first starting point. That's why I gave you that little tidbit that I just gave you right now about what you see with your eyes. Don't let that inform your actions or your confidence. Understand that what you put into place when you have an effective strategy will be working on your behalf. What you think about money, what you believe about yourself, all of those things show up in your interactions with your clients and in your sales conversations. And for most people, they are the things that stop them from getting a yes when it comes to high-end sales. So you must adopt this kind of belief. And this is something that I say to myself all the time. Like, I will always find clients who are willing to pay the rate that I desire. You have to adopt that belief that people will pay. Instead of coming into the belief, well, let me figure out who will pay. No, people will happily pay the rate that I deserve. I actually say this to myself very often. And even when I hear doubt coming in is, I'll just tell you how I say it, because I say it like this in my head. A little bit of cussing, but get over it. I'm a badass business coach. I know my stuff. And people happily invest in working with me all the time, over and over and over again. Sometimes I wake up and that's already in my spirit. It seems silly. That mindset is part of it, but part of the draw of people working with you is your confidence and how you present your offer. Who would you rather work with? Someone who sounds like, yes, by all means, you make this investment. Here's what we can do together. Here's what the possibilities are. Or someone that goes, okay, we can sort of kind of do something. Or you hear it in their voice that they barely believe they can get you the result. You're like, bye, thank you, talk to you later. And so a lot of times we're projecting our lack of confidence in our ability to get results, or worrying about whether people want to pay. Here, listen, the relationship with your client, the client consultant, the client coach, the client service provider, the client business owner relationship doesn't start when they pay you. It actually starts during the sales conversation. And if you cannot show up as the authority, if you cannot show up as the person that knows their stuff in the conversation, you will not get a yes. It's not get their money and then, ooh, let me work my magic. You should begin to work your magic during that conversation. Show up as the person they can confidently turn their body, their business, their relationship, whatever it is that you're helping work them through, over to help them get from where they are, which is the pit that they're stuck in, to where they want to go. You got to show up as that person from the beginning. I'm not telling you to put on fake confidence. Your confidence is going to look different from mine. Here's what I know about power. And I have a friend, if you guys don't know her, you can follow her. Her name is Varian Brandon. But she teaches on this very, very powerfully, and I love it. I'm going to ask her to do it again so I can like snatch it and so you guys can see it. But she teaches on power and how water is powerful. There's different levels of power, right? Think about water. The same trickle of water might take a little bit of time, but it can carve through a rock the same as a rushing, gushes of water can do that. You all have your own different levels of power and confidence in the way that shows up. It might not look like mine. Mine is, I have a little vibrato behind what I do, but that's because my brand archetype is the hero. It's who God created me to be. So you guys all have who God created you to be. You need to own that. If you're the nurturing type, then nurture during your conversations. Don't get so caught in your head that you're looking at a script. You don't need a script. You just need to be confident in who you are and what you can provide to people. That is what sells. That's what sells. It's not a script. It's not even the right program or the right pricing, although that makes a difference, right? It makes a difference that you're selling something that you're confident in. That's why I said your magic and packaging that up, that's the first place you need to start, where you know that you can take somebody from point A to point B. Just get me in a room with them. That's what I always tell people. Just get me in a room with them. Their life will transform. I know that. What do you know about yourself? So the mindset that you're worthy of being compensated for what you do. Not that you have a hunger or desire for it, because that's different. That's longing and wanting. I'm talking about wealth and abundance being your birthright. You are not designed to live in lack or just enough. You are designed to live in more than enough. So that's the first place that you need to start, is understanding you have something of value to bring to the table, and people will pay you. People will pay you. It's the conviction that comes with that. And it's the confidence that you can deliver. You need to own it. Don't sell things that you're Googling or unsure about. You know, some of you are in direct sales. You sell products. You know, you're selling your company and selling the products and how long your company has been in business. People don't care about that. They were attracted to you for a reason. Why is it that you are the person that they should buy from? And a lot of you, it's your story that you need to be telling about why you're doing what you're doing that you don't really tell. Because you're more committed to looking good than you are to getting people transformation. You don't want people to know that you've been through something or you're currently going through it. And the moment you let that go, you will sell more. I tell my clients all the time, I'm pulling them on a journey with me. I'm never gonna ask you to do anything I won't do. I'm asking you to live at the edge of your comfort zone. I'm living at the edge of mine. The same fears I coach you through, I face them daily. That's how I know how to coach you through them. When you're willing to become that person for the people you are meant to serve, everything will change. Don't be more committed to looking good than the transformation that you have a calling on your life to provide. Whew. So here's what I call that. I call that the power shift. That's the first place you got to start. The power shift. Get into the mindset that you have something that is worth investing in, because you know that you know that you know that you have confidence and conviction that you can deliver. Own that. The next step in this is you have to have the right client. The right client. You're like, I know, Shameca, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the right client. You're supposed to tell me where to find them. You have to have an understanding of who you're meant to serve and who you are to work with. You are not meant to serve everyone. I don't care if your program or your product or your service or what you do can help lots of people in different aspects. You never want to market from that place. And as long as you do, you're going to market yourself right into broke, over broke, over broke, over broke. I know sometimes there's a fear of loss that if I narrow down too much, then I'll miss money. I get inbox messages all the time from men. My marketing clearly speaks to women. And it always starts something like this. I know I'm not a man, but I read your book. I know I'm not a man, but I'm looking for a coach. I know I'm not a man. I know I'm not a woman, but I read your book. I know I'm not a woman, but I'm looking for a coach. And I'm clearly marketing to women. I'm clearly saying I serve women. This is who I work with. So here's what I want you to know is your divine assignment is your divine assignment. Who you're meant to serve is who you're meant to serve. No one can take that away from you. But you must get clear on what that call is. Stop being in this fear-based mentality that if I say I only serve these people, then I'm losing something. Because you're not. It was never yours to begin with. But I can tell you that if you keep spewing this big net, this big vast net over all the possible people that you could work with, you're going to stay exactly where you are, stuck, stagnant, struggling. Whatever that is for you. So sit with yourself and get crystal clear on who you're meant to serve. I know my clients are high achievers. They're go-getters. They know it. Sometimes they diminish their power because they don't want to overstep other people. Maybe they've been told they're too much. They have achieved a success at some level, but then they hit a wall. You know, something happened in their life that took their knees from underneath them. And they're on that journey back, not just starting. They're on the journey back, but the remnants, the scars of their past are keeping them from moving towards what they know is really possible for them. That's who I serve. That's who I speak to. That's why you show up, because that's who you are. Who is that for you? Who is that for you? Like looking at your comments over there. All right, so be really specific. You're not meant to serve everyone. So be specific about who you want to work with, and not only who you want to work with, but this is key. Write this down, guys. So the right client includes the person you want to work with, but also who has the desire and the urgency to work with you and the means to invest now. I'm going to say that again. Who has the desire and the urgency to work with you? Remember I said earlier, they have a problem that they already know they have that they need to solve. So they have the desire and the urgency to work with you, but they also have the means to invest now. Here's what I also know about my ideal clients. You're givers. You're like me, you're lovers of people's souls, and you want to save the world, even at your own expense. And so what happens is you're trying to draw people in along with you who aren't ready. They don't meet those 3 criteria. You see something, like for me, I'll see somebody, I'm like, ooh, if I can get my hands on that, we can turn that around just like that. But they might not be ready because they don't have the desire, the urgency, and the means to invest in working with me. So many times I try to gift people, the ability to work with me. It never worked out because they weren't fully vested. They weren't ready. Be willing to let that go. As you grow your business, you'll start to create things for people on those levels, but get crystal clear. What is the client? Who is the client that's ready to work with you? So I'm crystal clear that my ideal clients are already selling their services. They're not trying to figure out what to sell. They know what they're selling, right? They know what they're selling, and most likely they've already made some sales. That's my ideal client. Now, do I have things that I could gift or trainings that I could have people invest in at a very low level to work, if they're not ready to work with me and they're on those beginning points? Yes. But those are not my high-end premium clients. They're not the ones who are ready to work with me at that level. I'm really clear about that. And that's what my process allows me to filter through. So be crystal clear. I'm not really talking about doing a customer avatar where you write a letter. You can go through all of that, but just be clear. You have to know who you're willing to work with as much as you need to know who you're not willing to work with. And this is where a lot of your headaches come in, because you're just taking money because you need it. And these people aren't your divine assignment. They're not the ones who are going to get the best results. You want the ones who are going to get the results so you can have the testimonials to get more clients. That's how it works. So be clear who that is and be willing to send people the other way. I got an inbox message the other day. Listen, sales go down in the direct message box. I saw somebody post that the other day. Sales go down a DM. I'm like, yes, they do. The DM is what they call your Facebook Messenger box. Someone reached out to me because they wanted to be my client, but they didn't know what they were going to be selling, so they hadn't quite started their business yet. And so I pointed them in the direction of 3 other coaches that I knew that worked with people who were startups at that level. They were willing to pay me. They wanted to do a consultation. I knew that wasn't a good fit for me because they're still figuring out who they are. So what is that for you? So as much as you know who you want to work with, you also need to know who you don't want to work with, or what you don't want to deal with. And be very clear about that and be very vocal, because that's when the right clients will start to show up. All right, so I gave you one part, which was you need the right mindset. So that's your power shift. You need the right client, right? One that has the desire, the urgency, and the means to invest now, okay? Then there's 2 more strategies that you need in order to get premium clients, or to bring in or attract or draw in clients who are ready to pay. And that's a simple marketing strategy. I'm going to say that again. A simple marketing strategy, not a complicated sales funnel to the upsell to the, man, there are people out there confusing the heck out of you guys. Remember, making money in business is simple. There might come a point where you want to add some of those things, but if you're at the point where you're just trying to get things stable, right? You're trying to grow to a level where you can start to scale your business, you know, meaning you can pull yourself out of it and reach more people. You want to go from, you know, 4 figures to 5 figures a month, then you need to simplify. You need a simple marketing strategy. So what does that look like? So what I mean by simple marketing strategy is you want to have a marketing strategy that pre-sells your clients before they reach out to you. So I'm about to break this down. You may have not ever heard this way before, because this changes the game. This is what keeps you tripping over your feet, because you don't understand these concepts. Your marketing should be pre-selling prospects before they ever reach out to you. When they get on the phone, they should be desiring with all of their heart to work with you. And the only thing that should be stopping them is they're just flat broke and they don't have the money. But you should already read that out also. So they should already be like sold. Like, I know you're my person. I know what you have, I need. They should already know that. So here's how I'm going to break this down for you on this strategy. Here's what you need to know. There's 3 components to this. And I'm going to give you the first 2, and the third one is actually a point. So you need marketing and you need lead generation. You need marketing and lead generation. You're like, well, I'm posting on Facebook and I'm doing Facebook Lives. I'm all over social media over here and over there, and I'm emailing my list, and I still don't have any clients, and I'm giving all these freebies that people tell me to give. Here's why. Marketing is what gets you seen. That's how you get visible. That's your visibility. That's not where your appointments come from. That's why your phone's not ringing. That's why your calendar's not full. Because you're confusing marketing with lead generation. Marketing is how you get seen. And the language that you use in your marketing should start to pre-frame and pre-sell and share with people, not necessarily exactly what you do, but it should start to tell them who you are, who you want to work with, who you don't want to work with, why they need to pay attention. That's what marketing is. It's you, it's your visibility plan. So whatever you're doing to get visible, live streaming, posting on social media, emailing, webinars, all of that in itself, just by itself, is just marketing. It's so that you can get known to the people you want to work with. The second step to that most people are missing, and this is why their stuff doesn't work, is the lead generation aspect. That is the strategy that gets you the appointment. Lead generation is the strategy that gets you the appointment. I see all these people doing these 5-day challenges because I see other people doing 5-day challenges, and they're like, I did a 5-day challenge and I made $50,000 in a launch. And so you go try to do a 5-day challenge and you got 5 people in your 5-day challenge, or you don't make any money. Like, I can make money with 5 people in a 5-day challenge because I understand the psychology behind what I'm doing. But you don't, because you don't understand that that's a strategy. You do it as a visibility tool. You're in the marketing component of it, and you're missing the lead generation part of it, the strategy behind it. Lead generation is a strategy. So it's the why behind what you do, coupled with a system that leads people to the appointment. That's lead generation. So all kinds of things can end up being lead generation. So those webinars can be lead generation. Your freebies can be lead generation. And I'm actually going to give you in all of those things. So webinars, your free giveaways. I won't do challenges because that's too long and complicated, but I'll give you speaking. I'll give you the lead generation strategy behind those right now. So get a pen so that you can have it. Okay. Lead generation is about getting the appointment. And for those of you guys who are moving from 4 figures to 5, your only job is to get the appointment. You're trying to make the sell at the marketing end of it. You're already trying to count their money or get them to buy your services, and you're just being known. The lead generation, your whole focus in your business is to book your calendar. Once you get them on the phone, then you take them through that process, which I'm going to give you that step next. Okay. So in lead generation, let's start with speaking. Okay. So when you speak, what you teach should be structured in a way that it gives people some steps to do. I usually tell people like 3 steps, and then you make an offer. And that offer is generally to an appointment with you. okay, to appointment with you. Yes, Kim, it could take you from 5 figures to 6 figures too, and multiple. Okay, so here's the deal. You make an offer. So what I have my clients do is we make an offer. In the room, we give everybody something. So we give our freebie away to everyone, and then we offer a strategy session instead of trying to sell in the room. That strategy session, it's all about booking the appointment. Of course, it's positioned in a certain way. We don't have time to go through all that training now, but that's what you want to do. Now you've got everybody in the room who wants the freebie. You've just built your list. You just had your exposure to everyone, right? And then you have the few people who selectively qualify based on what you told them to do the strategy session with you, and you've booked the appointment. Everything you do should be structured towards booking the appointment. That's in speaking. In your freebie, some of you guys are throwing out freebies all the time. Download my this, download my checklist, and it's like the cute little bio about you at the end, and there's no lead generation strategy. So guess what that is? It's marketing. It's getting your name out there, but there's no way to lead to the appointment. Inside of your freebie, once you put your bio in there, you should also have a next step for them. So it should be an offer to connect with you for a strategy session. You just turned your marketing freebie into a lead generation tool. You don't want to miss that step. Okay? What was the other one I said I was going to give you? Webinar. So same thing. I know you see people out there selling on their webinars. If you're not a person who's investing thousands of dollars into traffic to get enough people on your webinar, you are likely, and if you're not a sales guru, you're likely not going to sell anybody off of your webinar. Structure your webinar where your offer is a strategy session, okay? Now, of course, you are supposed to position this strategy session in a way that it's not just like, oh, I'm giving you a free session. You want to position it in a way that says, hey, I can support you with this. Let's have a conversation about it. And then you move them through the next step. So guess what? Every piece of marketing that you have needs to have what? A call to action that leads to that's your lead generation strategy, right? That leads to the appointment. So marketing is visibility. Lead generation, a system, right? Lead generation, that's to get the appointment. So now we're on to the next step. And this is what I wanted to share with you. So next step is this. You need to have a way to close people in a conversation. So you need to have a strategy behind having a quick conversation with people. A strategy behind that. So you got a lead generation strategy. You got a marketing / visibility strategy, right? Lead generation / appointment strategy, marketing / visibility strategy. And now you have a sales conversation strategy. This is where you get your clients from. This system that I'm talking about right now is why most of you can't find clients, because this stuff is not in place. You're waking up at 9 a.m. in the morning and praying to God somebody's going to call you based on what you did the night before to get a sale. It is not intentional, and it's not by design. You are trying to build your business by default. It doesn't work that way. These are the simplest strategies that I can give you. Pick one and implement. We'll talk about that in a minute. So let's talk about the conversation strategy, okay? There's two folds to the conversation strategy. One, you should never be winging it, okay? Should never be winging it. You should have some sort of structure. I'm not saying you have to be scripted, but you need to have a structure so that every time you get on the phone with somebody, it's not a different way that you have the conversation, because the better you get at it, the more sales you're going to make. There's only 3 ways to increase your revenue in your business. More clients, raise your prices, get better at selling. Get better at selling is the fastest way, the easiest way, and the least expensive way. If you get better at selling, you can easily double your revenue with the same amount of leads that you're currently getting, same amount of appointments that you're currently having. Think about it. If you're selling something for $5K, and right now you're talking to, 5 people to get 1 sale, and all of a sudden you get better at sales, and now you're talking to 5 people and you're making 3 sales. That's $15,000 as opposed to 5. So you need to have a structure so that you can get really good at it, walking people from point A to point B. I'm not going to go into what that structure is. Of course, that's something I teach. We don't have time to go into that, but just make sure you're not winging it from person to person. Have some kind of structure, and don't be so stuck to a script that you can't be yourself, because that confidence that I talked about, you need to bring that to the conversation. This is when the client, consultant, service provider, coach relationship starts. So you have a structure for your sales conversation. And whether you're selling, I don't care if you're selling by phone, if you're trying to sell by email, like I said, sales happen in the direct mailbox all the time. But nothing is more painful than trying to push, convince, cajole, drag somebody into your programs. You don't want that. So how do you do what I was talking about earlier, where you have people show up? They should want to be there. And the process should be quick. Like, you should be able to just talk to them, right? Here's what you should know. If your closing conversations are lasting 2 hours, something's wrong. Okay. You should have a quick closing process. That's a strong indicator that your prospect's ready, willing, and able to get amazing results or to be an amazing result for you. Because the most successful people that I know, they make decisions quickly. So how do you do this? You invite people to the conversation. So remember the lead generation strategies. We are inviting people in to have this conversation. The next step is pre-qualify. Yeah, you pre-qualify. And here's where fear sets in. What if I make them jump through too many hoops and then they decide not to do anything? Then they're not ready. It's doing you a favor. Remember, reframe the faith walk when it comes to building clients. Those who don't apply, like my small amount of people who apply for my sessions are great, because my closing rate is like 90%. Pretty much 90% of the people who get on the phone with me, 100% of them want to buy, 90% of them say yes. I'd rather do that. I see these posts, these Facebook ads all the time. People are like, let me show you how to book 170, how I book 300 sales conversations this month. Nah, I'll pass. I'm not trying to waste my time with 300 people. I'd rather take the 25 that were real in the first place and get the 20 sales. Right? So how do you do that? You put this system in place. So you invite, you pre-qualify, and then you have the conversation. So what does that look like? So the invitation happens in the lead generation. So whether you post in social media with your visibility, right? Then there's a call to action. Either download your thing or go straight to your calendar. The link that you give them, whether it's off of your freebie, your workbook, your ebook, your checklist, that link is not to email you, to talk to you, it's to your calendar. Because again, those who are super ready, they're going to do whatever it takes to get on your calendar. So I'm going to give you my favorite tool for calendaring, and I'll tell you why. And I'll show you guys, I'll tell you the link to mine so you can go look at it. But it allows you to put up a beautiful landing page. Well, it's not that beautiful, but it's amazing what it elevates your credibility so that people are like, wow, this person really has their stuff together. Shows that you already have a system and a process. And if you can do that for yourself, you can do that for other people, right? So you go to the landing page and you can, it's like a little mini page, a little mini website. You can just put on there exactly who qualifies, why they're on the page. You can put a picture of yourself up, and then it says, hey, then you can tell them, hey, if this is you and you're ready to go, click the link below. They click the link, and before it opens up the calendar, so you've pre-qualified them once by saying who qualifies and who doesn't. Okay, I'm giving you guys my ninja secrets right now. I'll give you the calendar system that I use. Then it sends them to the calendar site, but before they even get on the calendar, they have to complete an application. This is how you pre-qualify again. So you've got one pre-qualifier that says, hey, don't even click this link if you're not this person. Then they get on the other side, and now they have to complete this application. So here's what this does for me. When they complete this application, I think I have like 12 questions on my application. People who are lazy, who won't do the work, because I need people who will do work in my programs, will always go the other way. They won't do the assignment. And it doesn't allow them to finish the putting themselves on my calendar without doing the assignment. So the assignment is take the assessment. So it's like 10 to 12 questions. For you guys starting out, you might want to keep it at like 8 questions, no more than 10. right? Because there's also a psychology to how you put those questions together, but this helps you answer questions that you normally would spend time on the phone asking. And it also starts the process for them of seeing the transformation that you can help them to get. So this is where you want to ask about name. Like for me, I'll ask their name, their business, what are their desires, some questions like that. What's getting in the way? You know, what is it that they're hoping to accomplish with me? Like, what are the things, the areas, and I'll list out some that they can check off. So questions like that. So now when this person finishes that process, they've jumped through all of these hoops. You know they desire to be on the phone with you. Do you think you have to sell? Do you think you have to get on the phone and like, please buy this? I think this will be great for you. It's only $59.99. You don't have to do that because they're already pre-sold on working with you if they were willing to do all of that. You are filtering out people that aren't ready. You are filtering out tire kickers. Once they do that process, now they get to put themselves on your calendar. And guess what? You wake up in the morning and you have sessions on your calendar. You get an email. It automatically sets up their reminder messages and all of those things. The system that I use to do that is called Acuity Scheduling. Some of you might already use it. You probably don't use it in that way. It has the ability to do that for you. A simple system so that when you get on the phone, it really is a matter of just quickly walking people through what is it they're trying to accomplish and the fact that you are the person to bridge the gap from where they are to where they want to be, and then you give them the investment. So everything that I've shared with you today is this nice little container that you can put your business into, right? That says, I'm ready. I'm operating myself and my business at a level where people can invest with me at 5K, 10K, 20K. Because there's nothing more raggedy than someone telling you their program is $10,000 or the investment is $5,000 and they don't have their stuff together or they don't seem confident in what they do. If you can anchor your own confidence, get really crystal clear on what you offer, and then set yourself up for success in this way, you will have more yeses. All right, so I'm going to open up for questions. Let me make sure I put everything in there. Okay, I'm going to open up for questions right now just to see if anybody has any questions they want to ask me about their own business, anything that's come up for them. Let me scroll through here if I can. I don't think I can scroll back through. All right, so I'm going to wait a minute and just see if there's any questions that are coming up for anyone. What if I click on this? Nope. All right, guys, I'm waiting on you to see if you have questions. I'm going to jump into the group and look at the live stream that way. And that should help me. Any questions, anything coming up? I'm going to recap and wrap up if there's not. All right, I don't see anything. You are welcome, Kim. See, Michelle said she needs improvement on selling. All right, so two things I want to gift you guys. I forgot to gift you. So I told you Acuity Scheduling. I also wanted to give you the link to my calendar. So the link to my calendar so you can see what mine looks like is bit.ly/10K permission. I see that question, Ruth Ellen, I'll come back to it. bit.ly/10K permission. bit.ly/10K permission. When you go there, you can see what mine looks like. I have several calendars, but that's the main one that I use. You can kind of see what I'm talking about and how you can walk people through and position yourself immediately once they get there for them to say yes to the conversation and to make your conversations more easy and more simple and more streamlined for yourself. If you want me to help you implement this strategy in your business, or you want me to look at what your magic is and help you with that, you can also use that. Just look at the page, see if you qualify based on what I wrote there. And if you want to spend some time with me, jump on a call. I'm happy to do that. Just use that same link and put yourself on my calendar. Okay. So I have a few questions that have come up. I'm going to look at those. So I gave you the bit.ly. I gave you the acuity scheduling. You have that. Yes, it is case. It's case sensitive. Lowercase 10K permission. That's the link, so you guys have it. bit.ly/10K. I'm just gonna make sure 10K. Yeah, it's all lowercase, so 10K permission. I lost you guys again. Where'd you go? There you are. Okay. There was a few questions. Okay, so Ruth Ellen said, I've been marketing and lead generation, but I think I must be in the wrong groups. Okay, so then let me get this other question before it disappears. How do I implement this still working for someone else? Okay, so I'll go back to that question too. Let me write it down so I don't forget. I didn't really talk about this, but online strategy is not really the fastest way to build your business when you're just starting out unless you have revenue to pump into it. Because what you need is a massive amount of eyes on what you're doing to make sure that you're filtering through to the right people. Right? So yeah, you could be in the wrong groups, meaning if you're in a group where everybody is your target audience, it's likely that you'll get more of a response. But also in those groups, remember, every group that you're in is built by someone else. So they're there for that person. And yeah, while you might get some clients out of it, it takes a lot of visibility. So I know someone who teaches that as a strategy. I'm not a person who does, who says, you know, you need to be posting 3 to 4 times a day in at least 3 groups, not just once a day, to get your eyes on it, so that, because people are in there at all different times, everyone doesn't always get notifications, and you need to make sure it's a group that really is targeted towards your ideal client. So my best strategy, like when you're really wanting to rev up your business, is grassroots. And I know most people just want the laptop lifestyle, but sometimes you got to get the money coming in to get to the laptop lifestyle. There's such a learning curve with the technology, and such a learning curve with, you know, again, if you've got the money to invest to get yourself in front of large numbers of people, you know how to use Facebook pixels and things like that so that you can retarget those people who are visiting your post and your pages, then by all means, you can make it happen very quickly, because you can get it in front of a large amount of people. So what's happening is your message may not be wrong and you may not be in a wrong group, but not enough eyes are getting on what you're doing. So if you are in groups, Ruth Ellen, one of the things you may want to do is post more often in those groups, 3 to 4 times a day, so that you're getting your message on the eyes of multiple people. What was the other thing that I was going to tell you about that? Okay, so grassroots marketing. So for me, grassroots marketing is networking and speaking. Speaking being the #1 way, because immediately when you stand up in front of a group of people and you share what you do, especially if they're a group of people who are your target audience, if you're the speaker, it's imputed credibility that you know what you're talking about. And remember, the goal of lead generation is to generate an appointment, not a sell. You're not selling in the room, an appointment. It's quite simple to generate appointments and get appointments on your schedule from doing grassroots marketing in that way, if you understand the end result. If you go into grassroots marketing trying to sell, just like online, you're using marketing trying to sell people in, it doesn't usually work well. But if you understand that the point is you're trying to book the appointment, and you let people know what your appointment process is, like I just told you, they will happily do it. And then you'll get appointments on your calendar, and it's more likely that you're going to close people that have met you, touched you, experienced you eye to eye, knee to knee, heart to heart, faster and at a higher investment level than someone who has just met you online. That's a longer process, which is why you see lots of online marketers teaching to do all the freebies and all of those things. You can skip right past that and start selling high-end 5K and above just by switching to grassroots marketing, because there's not this increased factor in increasing the know, like, trust or the timidity that people have, or the fear that they have that you might be taking advantage of them from behind a computer. So that's just a choice you have to look at. Like, how do you want to do it? So you can up your visibility just by posting more. You can put more money to getting more eyes on what you're posting. That's another way. Or you can add some grassroots to your current structure that you have. Go into your local market and get some clients really quickly that way. Hopefully that answered your question. Let me know if it did, Ruth Ellen, or if you have a follow-up question to that. Michelle, you were asking, how do you implement this while you're still working with someone else? It's the same process. You know, you got to know where your clients are. So the first place that I would tell you to start is to get clear on the things that I've given you guys today. And I might as well take this moment to just go back through and reiterate the things you want to have in place and be really crystal clear about for yourself as you begin to sell. So the first one is you want to be crystal clear on your own magic. Like, you want to know what's your offer. What are you really selling to people? Because it's the transformation that you provide. It's the way that you do what you do. And then what's the package that's packaged up into? How much is it, right? Making sure it solves a burning problem. Once you have that, you can go through this. I'm going to place this recording. I'm going to leave it up in the group so you guys can go back through it over the next week or so. I might take it down after 7 days. I might leave it up in perpetuity, but come back to it, take notes, and do the work that I've given you in here. Once you're crystal clear on that, now you're moving through, okay, how am I going to market myself? Or no, who's my target client? Who's my ideal client? So who do I want to work with? You know, what do they read? Where do they hang out? Who else serves this type of client? Who do I want to work with? What are my wants and my desires? My I must have to work with someone. And what is my list of I can't deal with that at all. I'm never going to have it. It's not working. I'm not working with you. Once you're clear on that, then you put your marketing strategy in place. So how am I going to be visible? So now you just need to make a decision. Am I networking? And there's evening networking, there's Saturday networking. You just find organizations that you can plug into and go share what you do in your business. Or am I doing it online? So same thing. So now you put your marketing plan into place, which is your visibility, saying, hey, here's who I am and here's what I'm about. Here's what I'm teaching. Here's a tip on this. You know, that's what your marketing is for, to show people who you are and what you're about. It's your visibility. It's saying, hey, I'm in business. And then you want to start to add your lead generation strategy. So those can be done anywhere, Michelle. Here's why. Because a lot of that stuff can be automated. There's different systems that are out there that can automate your social media posts for you so that that stuff is happening even when you're at work. If you put this calendar system, the Acuity scheduling into place, again, people can schedule appointments without picking up the phone and having to call you. You know, if I get on the phone to schedule with someone, it's because I made a decision that I want to do that. It's not because I have to. I can just as easily slip them a calendar link, and that will take care of the entire process. So it's possible to have it done. Again, anybody who's watching this right now, I do have some time on my calendar. I think in the next couple of weeks, I might have some time this week. I need to look and see. Leaving out of town this weekend, so maybe not. To do some appointments with you guys, to do some strategy sessions with you. So if you want to jump on a call with me, just use that link, that bit.ly/10K permission. Answer the questions. And here's the deal. I don't take everybody in those sessions. So the application process for me is to make sure you qualify. If you don't, I'll likely just jump on a call with you anyway, or shoot you an email with a resource that'll point you in the right direction based on how you answered the questions. Or if you qualify, then my team will confirm your appointment, and then we'll have a session together where I can walk you through what that strategy could look like while you are, you know, basically moonlighting with your job. I can also point you in the direction of some people that I know that help those who are, I forget what they call them, parallelpreneurs, those who are parallel working a job and working in their business. My ideal clients are 100% entrepreneurs. They're 100% focused on building their business. And they don't have side jobs. Doesn't mean I don't have clients who do it, but my ideal clients are the ones who this is their full-time thing. If I can't support you, once we look at your application and even if we do a call, because I do know you, so I'll probably jump on a call anyway with you. I'll point you in the right direction to people that you can follow who teach like I'm teaching right now, but they teach you how to do it while you have a job. Okay? People I trust, people that I know. What kind of business do you have, Miss Shayla? Just type it in. Let me look at these other questions. I'm okay with grassroots like speaking. I may try LinkedIn as well. Yeah. Speaking is powerful. It's such a powerful way. Like you could rev up your business so quickly, Ruth Ellen, with speaking. When you have the right strategy in place with speaking, you can get clients immediately without having much in place. I built my business without a website, without business cards, without all of that stuff, because I knew the things that I share with you today. I was crystal clear on those things. And when I speak and when I share with people what I do, I know what that looks like. So once you have these things in place, what happens is you get up and speak, people go, okay, how do I work with you? How do I learn more? How do I do a session? Like I spoke today and I didn't even make an offer and I walked away with strategy sessions. I didn't even offer a strategy session because these people I had spoke to before, it's a group that I go to on a weekly basis. So I said, look, I'm not selling you guys anything. I'm not offering anything. And I still walked away with strategy sessions because you get to demonstrate your authority while you're standing there. You get to demonstrate your knowledge and your ability to get results while you're standing in front of them. So grassroots, just add it to what you're doing. It'll boost your confidence as well to be able to do that. Even in networking, when they let you stand up and talk, when you're clear about it, people flock to you. You know, they want to know who you are. And we forget that this is a low touch, high tech society, and we're leaving tons of money on the table because we think everybody's online. We think the market is saturated. It's not necessarily saturated. I saw this the other day. Somebody said, your market's not saturated. Your timeline is. It's not reality. There are so many people who don't even have knowledge of what we're doing right now. We're Facebook Living inside of a group. I use Zoom. People don't know this stuff. And we think everybody knows everything, and there's always somebody, there's a lot of competition and somebody already doing what I'm doing. It's because our view is limited by our timeline. So if you can step out of your timeline and step into the real world, you'll see how many other clients you actually have available to you. All right, let me see. And I'll be happy to walk you through a strategy to support you with that, Ruth Ellen, if you want me to do that. Michelle, okay. Huxes and looking back, getting into flowers. Okay. So yeah, I mean, you should be able to easily, you want to look at, are you on Janelle's team or did somebody else bring you into Plexus? You want to look at social, because I know she does social media training for the team, or she has access to Stephanie who does it. You want to look at a social media scheduler. So there is, I'm trying to think of all the names of them. Actually, let me write it down and I'll shoot you a message of some ways that you can schedule social media posts so that you can do that while you're still at your job. Okay? So that you can have this process going. And it's the same thing. You still lead them to the same place. You'll still lead them to the Acuity scheduling to schedule the appointment so that you're not having to chase people down. And it gives them a little bit of responsibility. Okay, it puts the responsibility back on them. You might still want to follow up because of the nature of the business that you do, but it puts the responsibility on them to put themselves on your calendar. You don't have to be there and you don't have to be on the phone. So now you're not looking at, 50 hours a week for your job and then another 30 hours a week for your Plexus. Like I work 3 days a week. Sometimes I work 4 for the most part in my business. Gail and Veronica. Okay. So yeah, I'll get you the resources for the scheduling, but just make sure you connect with your team, and let them know what you're trying to do. I'm trying to build my business. Like, what resources do you have? I'll think of some other resources that I have for you that might help you to start to get your visibility. But the first thing you really have to do when it comes to visibility is you need to make that commitment to yourself that you're going to be visible. Like your marketing, you're going to do it and not worry about people judging you for posting about your business. Because that's what stops a lot of people. They're posting about their business and they start to feel like, okay, people don't like me anymore. And so they stop. That's the only way you're going to be able to do it in tangent, is doing the marketing portion while you're at work, but having it scheduled automated. Hopefully that was helpful. Last chance for questions, guys. I'm going to wrap up. I'm going to wrap up the conversation that we're having here. It's almost time for me to go to the gym. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Here's what I'm going to ask you to do, because I don't see any more questions on here. First thing I want to ask you to do, if you want to do what I call a permission to profit session, it's where I show you how to add 5 figures or more to your business on a monthly basis or in a single day. Really what I'm showing people how to do is to turn their current monthly income into a day, a week, or a sale. That's really what we're doing. Go to bit.ly/10K permission. Look and see if you qualify on the page. If you do, keep going, fill out the application, put yourself on my calendar. We'll do a session together. I'll help you look at how you can be packaging up what you do. I will help you look at where you may be getting stuck, help you remove some of those blocks, and give you some action steps to get you moving in the right direction. Okay. As well as if I feel like there's a good fit or something I can do to support you further to really help you catapult forward in this journey, I'll make an offer to you. So I'll be clear about that. I'm a sales coach, so I'm not going to play around and say I'm not going to, make an offer. If it's a fit, I'll make an offer. So if you're ready to do that, or like I said, read the page. If you're ready, go ahead and fill that out. Michelle, I've written these things down so I can try to grab a couple of things to send you. I'll send it into your Facebook Messenger box. Again, you can apply for the session. Here's what the other thing I'm going to ask you guys to do is, if this was beneficial to you and you know somebody who needs to see this, invite them to the group. I'll allow you to do that. Invite them. Don't add them. Tell them there's a training I think you need to see. Invite them to the group. All you have to do is give them this link, powerplayerslive.com. powerplayerslive.com. That's a direct link to the group. I will leave this post pinned to the top of the page for probably at least another week, and let them know that this training is something that they need to see. That's all I want to ask of you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I don't see any other questions. I will see you guys the next time I decide to do something live. I always do my live trainings around questions that you guys are asking. So whatever's going on with you, let me know. And you never know, I might jump on live and do a full-fledged training just for you. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Have an awesome and amazing rest of your week. I'll see you soon.